Welcome to 1242. Is this 1242? Auwaiku. We're here today to bless this halik. It's always good to give some background on where we are, to have a sense of place. And if you look at the name, where we're in Kailua, this Aupua'a, that's here part of Kolaupoko. When you look at the different moku in Hawaii, this is a very special place. This area was actually owned once by Queen Kalama. So we go through, so there's some genealogical mokoahau mana that comes with ku'upua maioli hakui me ka anui nui o na lani, Yasiel and Kamohai over there, all dressed in that, and the mana's passing through. And I think it's the reason why I start there is because there's a lineal descendancy, kuleana that runs with the work that they do. There's a spiritual significance of us really praising Akua, our strength that we come, and then just a reminder that what we're here for. Our kuleana is, there's a Hawaiian olelo no iau that says, Namalui na kupuna, and I state that because we all stand in the shadow of those that came before us. We have to move forward. The street, Auwaiku, what is that? The big piece is the vai, is the water. You know, if you were to take the name apart and you look at it, and ku means to stand tall, to lead. And so when you look at Auwaiku, this area, the street is named after that. And it overlooks Kailepulu. Kailepulu is one of the ancient fish ponds in all of Hawaii. And when you look at this area here that stretches from here to Kawainui, it was one of the most heavily farmed areas in all of Hawaii. And so it's a constant reminder of we're here. It's a place to nurture, a place that nurtures others, and serves as a constant reminder. And this hali happens to be a part of that. And so to the family that will have the privilege of stewarding this place during their time, they come into the home understanding the kuleana and the responsibility that's been afforded them in their selection, which will also bless them and protect them as they go through. But it's all part of the history of this place. Every time I go somewhere, I always try and bring something. And the shadow that we're falling in is the shadow of my mom and my dad. And so all of these plants were planted in our yard where Kamoa grew up. Tea leaf, which is something that's used for cooking, medicinal value. And so this is one of the descendants of a tree that my father planted in our yard. I brought this mango thing. My father also planted this in our yard, which we now houses a tree house that the children play in at our house, but it's already blooming, having flowers and everything. But this is a common mango tree that my father planted. This here is from a puakinikini tree, which my mother gave to us. It has a fragrance that just provides a sweet smell throughout the neighborhood when it is blooming in a beautiful flower. This here is from your grandma over there. This is her gardenia tree that plants in the back of the yard that pops up every so often. That reminds us, we look forward to it every year. This here is from the papaya tree that you folks planted that's giving us fruit now. Yasiel and Baba in the back of the yard. This here is the guava tree that you love to eat from in the back of the yard. Baba, this is Baba's guavas. But the point is that it's a tree that miraculously blooms every day of the year. Every day of the year we have guava on there, on the tree. It doesn't stop. We cut it and it grows, and we don't have a bird. We don't feed the birds with bird feed. What I do is I take the ripe guavas and I break them in half and I set them on the ground, and the birds will come and eat the guavas. So that's Bubba's responsibility. And then this here is a la'amea, which my mom, who's a kumuhula, that taught it. She planted in our yard, and this is what they make uli from. What's interesting, when their cousins were at our house, they looked at it and they wanted to make ornaments from them. So what happens is that it dries, and inside there's a seed, and you just cut it open, and then the bugs will eventually eat the inside of it, and it becomes very hollow and light. And so we've got a bunch of ornaments that were made for Christmas. So that's what that is. So I just want to give that. That's part of the mana. And I've walked around in the bowl that was given by my mom with water, just with a tea leaf, just blessing different places around the house, on the different house posts, again, as a reminder of that. This ukulele, too, is from Uncle Sam Kamaka, from the Kamaka family that gave it to me, but he gave it to me. He knew I loved music and that I grew up with music. So when I was looking at the name of the place, and the word that just kept coming back to me is vai, and water. And Sandy and I had the pleasure this morning of going out on our va'a in this wind and storm and lightning. And it was kind of different. The lightning would hit like that, everybody in the water going, oh, shoot. So I just told everybody, stand up next to the tall person, So anyway. Yeah, but there's a lot of people on the water that were very, and what it was, it just reminded us of how, what our role is and to be humble, because you really don't have control over that, but you get constantly reminded of where the strength comes from, and it comes from Akua. So the song that came to mind was this Kanaka Vai Vai, which is something that talks about the importance of water and the blessing that comes to us from heaven. So I'm just going to sing a verse of it. Ma ke ala hele o Yesu I halavai aku ai me ke kanaka o pio hano hano kaulana he ka vai vai pane mai e ka opi yono e kuhaku mai kai e hau iau e hanau aku ai I loa e ke ola mau He have lilo I ko mau vai vai hu ai mai au I loa e ke ola mau Yahweh Ave, Ave lilo I ko mau vai vai hu ai mai au I loa e ke ola mau I loa e ke ola mau. Me ka pu'u vai ha'a mahalo ia oi o ko, o ke ko manalona, nalani, mai ka ola. Aloha. We're done.